Going to call our October 14th, 2025 school board meeting. I want to welcome everyone. Thank you all for being here. Sorry we're a little bit late getting started. At this time, I'm going to call Carson Hayter, who is our senior representative from Springdale High School, to the podium. He's going to lead us in the pledge if you'll stand, and then we'll get to talk to Carson for a minute.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I forgot to tell you about the pledge part. Hopefully that was.
Oh, that's fine.
You probably set it a time or two.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, this is Carson Hayter, Springdale High School. Instead of us asking you a bunch of questions, why don't you kind of tell us about yourself and where you've been and where you're going? And
Okay. Like I said, my name is Carson Hayter. I'm a senior at Springdale High School. I'm on the football team. Play quarterback right now for the Bulldogs. I'm going to, after I graduate high school, I'm going to go to Harding University to continue playing football and study business. Yes, sir.
what schools have you gone through?
I started at HAR-BER Elementary, and then when NAP opened my third grade year, I went there, finished there, then went to Joe Kelly, then George, and then Springdale. Yes, sir.
Wide receiver turned quarterback, back to wide receiver at Harding?
Yeah, that's the hope, I guess. But we play kind of Harding's offense in the shotgun, so if they ask me to go down under center, I'll say yes, sir.
Based on what I saw Friday night, I'm pretty sure you can do whatever you want to do.
Well, I appreciate that.
You played really, really well. Or do we have any questions for Carson?
Yeah, where do we make an appointment for a car detail?
You can message me on Facebook or at Live World Detailing, or message me directly. I'll give my number to Mr. Emerson.
How long have you co-owned that business?
So me and my buddy started it my sophomore year, and then we usually just do it in the summers and then after football season. So I guess about 2 years now. So yes, ma'am.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
You're learning a lot of important skills.
Yes, ma'am.
And music, play the guitar.
Yes, sir. I do. Yeah, I've played since I was 5 years old. I told my parents, I was like, I can't be a pastor if I don't know how to play the guitar. So they got me in, and I started doing lessons, and I wasn't very good. My dad expected me to be, I don't know, something great out of the gate, but no, I've just continued with it. I led worship for my youth group at my church, and then played on Sundays as well, and yeah, I love it. Yeah, it's my favorite thing outside of school and football. So.
Are your mom and dad here?
They are not, but my mom is a principal at Napa Elementary now, and then my dad was on the way, but he works in Springfield, so it's kind of a long drive. So, yes, sir.
Anybody else?
I have one question. Are you going to be a pastor, is that what you said?
I don't know, honestly. I've kind of felt that call in my life. I hope that would be an awesome thing. But I've always just kind of also had like a desire to help people with special needs, so I hope to kind of do something in both aspects. That would be really cool. I figure studying business would give me an opportunity to a lot of different doors, that a lot of different things that I could do with that. So, yes, sir.
I want to make sure everybody realizes he was here before serving us coffee with J.O. Kelly.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't
Yes.
read this all the way to the end.
Yeah.
And I think that's super cool, because I think our favorite thing, all of our favorite things, is like to see how kids grow and learn and become, and that's amazing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for being here. We're super proud of you and excited to see where you go and what you do in the future. So
Thank you very much.
thanks. That's a 4.4 speed walking out the door for those that know what that is. And it is fast, I can tell you. Okay, so that brings us to our agenda for tonight. Look for a motion on that.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as submitted.
Second.
A motion by Mr. Hutchinson and a second by Mrs. Creek to approve the agenda as presented. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. All right, Dr. Cleveland, that brings us to our celebrations and reports. I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, thank you. Well, it is National Principals Month, and as you know, we've got some really great ones. But I want to recognize just a couple tonight. First one I want to recognize tonight is Dr. Paul Green. And somebody said they saw him not in a Razorback shirt or uniform or any of that at a Razorback game the other day. They saw him actually wearing a Notre Dame shirt, which was strange. And so I got some texts about it, and apparently there was a story there. So, Dr. Green, would you like to tell that story? Your face is awfully red.
Well, Dr. Cleveland, thank you for the opportunity to come tonight and board. I'm hoping Corey, who's this person behind the story, he's on his way and got caught in that typical Northwest Arkansas traffic. So he may come in at any time, and if so, I'd love to introduce him to you. But Corey Ray is a custodian at HAR-BER. He is, in my mind, just, the top of the chart in terms of his work ethic, his personality, his character. If any of you have had kids come through HAR-BER, you probably have seen Corey because he's been there since the day that it opens. Corey's personality is one that he's quiet behind the scenes. He would, he may be driving slow just because he doesn't want to be in front of a crowd. He's just that kind of guy. Works hard, serves. He has not only my respect, but the respect of our staff, and maybe even deeper, what speaks about him is the respect of our kids. Corey has been invited, to games by kids where they, look for him and say, "Hey, Corey, are you going to be there tonight?" And he works early in the morning. He gets there at, 6:30 in the morning. So, for him to go to some of these games, again, just speaks volumes of his commitment. He'll go to banquets. Even our baseball team a couple of years ago, when they won the state championship, made sure that he was part of the celebration. Well, one thing Corey and I do every morning is we just touch base. What's needed at HAR-BER? Is there anything special going on? And so over the past 8 years, we've got to know each other. And one thing about Corey is he loves football. He loves Notre Dame, and he loves his Chicago Bears. And so we'll talk a few minutes, about football. And so earlier in the summer, his parents surprised him with 2 tickets to the Notre Dame Razorback game. And if you would have seen the look on Corey's face, you would have swore he got a new car. This gift to him was just, again, the top of the mountain. And so I was excited for Corey. And then like a couple of weeks later, Corey, he said, "You know what? I'd really like to invite you to come to the game with me." And I was like, "Corey, I can't do that. Number one, I'm sure these tickets weren't cheap. And number two, take your dad, take somebody else." And Corey said, "No, I really want to take you." And that just spoke to my heart, just felt so humble that of all the people he knows that, he'd want to go to the game with me. And so I thought to myself, I've been to some pro games before, and I know sometimes the crowds could be a little intense if you're not wearing the right jersey. And so I thought to myself, you know what? I'm all in for Corey this game. And so I didn't own a Notre Dame shirt. I went and bought one, and I just thought, you know what? This is about Corey today. And so needless to say, we won't talk about the outcome of the game, but Corey had a lot of fun. And I had a lot of fun just celebrating with somebody who I consider my friend. And so there's a picture of us at the game. And, again, I'm just super proud to have an employee like Corey in our district. To me, he's just what Springdale is all about. He not only just shows up, but he works hard for our kids. And so I appreciate you letting me share the story and just really celebrating Corey, because to me, that's what it's all about, is the people that serve for our kids. And so thank you.
Well, it's not just about Corey, it's about you, and you care about everybody. You're a great example of every principal, because
Well, thank you.
every principal cares about everybody in the building. It's a family. That's why we say our Springdale family.
Yes, sir.
So appreciate your example, and quite frankly, I have to thank Mr. Bell. Mr. Bell turned me on. Yes, and you didn't know that.
Yeah.
Mr. Bell did.
Well, we saw each other at the game, so,
Well, I
but,
noticed you noticing him.
yeah.
I appreciate that, so.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
He was probably trying to buy your shirt by the end of that game.
Yeah. So anyway, but thank you, Dr. Cleveland, and
If it's okay with the board, before he gets here, maybe we recognize.
Oh, sure.
absolutely, I'd love that. So he should be here any second, and I'll step out and wait for him if that's okay.
Absolutely.
But anyway, thank you.
Dr. Green.
Thank you, appreciate it. Next, we want to highlight Miss Jill Jackson of Jones Elementary for academic excellence. While she's coming, I want to just talk a little bit about Miss Jill. You know, as she comes up here, I've toured around Jones with her. Don't confuse her tininess for not mightiness, because she is a mighty might. I'm telling you, she is powerful, and her leadership is powerful. And her team at Jones Elementary School, she can share it, but I just want to recognize her team, not just her administrative team, but the entire team, custodians, food service, teachers, everyone who supports them. They've grown 2 grade levels. They've gone from 1 grade, past 1 grade, to another grade in 1 year. And that doesn't just happen, does it? So why don't you go ahead and share.
Well, thank you, Board. Thank you, Dr. Cleveland. I am tiny but mighty. I'm a little bit scrappy, as Dr. Cleveland said, but I was definitely going to take that F and turn it around. And we're not done. My team will tell you we're not done. The first thing that I will tell you is it takes a family. And so I've taken the Springdale vision, and we are a family at Jones. We firmly believe that. From the custodians to the kitchen ladies to our SPED team to our IAs, even to our community clinic. We work very closely with them. That's just something we firmly believe in. I am very present throughout the whole school every day. I have subs tell me, they're like, "Oh, are you an IA? Are you a sub today?" I'm like, "Oh no, I'm actually the principal." And so I hear that a lot, but we are hands-on all day, every day. As you know, Jones is not an easy gig. I had the reins passed to me and was taught very well about the community and population. There's a lot of things, and so one of the things our leadership team decided when we really wanted to go on this journey is that we could all sit there and look at, okay, this glass is half empty, or we can look at it as this glass is half full. We lose some years between 200 and 250 students. We have a very high population of SPED students that live in our community, but we just said, hey, what can we do? Not what is against us, but what can we do? And so this past year, we really looked at data. We really looked at our Tier 1 instruction. We really looked at our Tier 2 and Tier 3 instruction. And our leadership team, our guiding coalition, with the help and PD that our district leadership team has given us, we just decided we're going to move this bus forward. And we did. We went from an F to a C, and we are going to just keep on moving. I mean, we feel like we're rocking and rolling. We're celebrating with our staff on Thursday. But there was a lot of tears when we got to celebrate that. But we definitely are a family at Jones. We're pushing all kids. We push a lot of inclusive practices for our SPED kids. We push, we have a lot of English language learners. And so we believe in all our kids, and we want them all there in the classroom learning. So we're ready to keep going.
Well, we took some children last year that arrived that were stolen bottles and diapers.
And we have that again this year. So we have a potty schedule that we run every day. And so we all have our kids that we do. So I have my 5 kids that I take on a potty schedule, and my nurse. And I'm going to be honest with you, we have some kids that need some one-on-one support. And my own son, he's 18, he has jumped on board this week, and he is a one-on-one para on a timesheet because we need help. We need hands. And so he's helping with a new kiddo that just enrolled. And so, so when I say family, I mean all family. We are all hands on deck. We're doing it. We're moving it. So, and if you want to come by and see, we'd love for you to. But we are a team. But yes, Dr. Cleveland's right. We've had diapers, bottles. We've had 2 new kids enroll in the last 2 weeks that are 7, never been in school, not potty trained. So we do, like I said, we could look at the glass half empty or we could look at it half full. And we've had a lot of victories with those 2 in the past couple weeks. But we just have to, we're going to take those victories and keep going, and they're going to make progress just like all our other kids have.
A lot of opportunity.
So much opportunity. We have a lot of victories. But we are tired sometimes. So,
Okay.
Any questions?
Just thank you for all you do.
Thank you for supporting us.
Thanks for coming and letting us highlight you today.
Thank you, Dr. Cleveland.
Next, Mr. President, we'd like to recognize Ms. Kelsey Roth. I know she's here, yes. Mr. Steckline's been a little bit under the weather some, hasn't he?
Yes, he does.
He's had some
If you don't mind
issues.
taking one,
Oh, certainly.
passing it down.
Sure.
Yes, Chris is, I think he's on the mend, hopefully. But thank you so much for coming. My name is Kelsey Roth, and I am the Director of Development for the Springdale Public Schools Education Foundation. And I'm so glad to be here to talk to you about our 14th annual Cornerstone event, which is on Thursday, October 23rd. We would love to have each of you there. It's going to be a great event. Thanks to Trent and his team, we've had the opportunity to interview all of our award winners. You'll see them on the sheet. But what's been really cool about the interview process is these 4 people, the 3 people, and then Mr. Van Hoos's family, love Springdale so much. I have never seen people so proud of their community. Janae Fleener, who's gone on to be a really successful musician in Nashville, we got to Zoom with her, and just what she said about Springdale and Springdale schools, her whole face lit up. She was so excited. The Matthews family just has the absolute nicest things to say about Springdale and the Springdale schools. And so we are really excited to celebrate these people. Janae is our outstanding alum. The Matthews, Bill and Walter Matthews family are the outstanding patron. Sarah Ford is our outstanding retiree, and then Jerry Van Hoos is our legacy award. One thing that we're doing this year that we've never done before is we are awarding a grant of the year to the board. Our board voted on their favorite grant from this year, and it's going to go to Josh Worthy at Sonora Elementary for his work where students got to talk to the astronaut aboard the space shuttle. So that'll be really exciting. And then we'll just recognize these awesome individuals for their, unbelievable impact on our community and our schools. So we would love to have you there. I think that's about it, unless you have questions. All right. Well, we'll see you on Thursday, October 23rd. Thank you so much for letting me come and announce it.
Appreciate
Yeah.
it. Thank you. Dr. Reap, you want to come on up with Mr. Ray?
Well, Dr. Cleveland and board, again, thank you for the opportunity to introduce Corey to you. As I'd mentioned before, Corey's been working at HAR-BER since the day the doors opened, and he's really a pillar in our district. Corey's one of the hardest working people you know, with a servant's heart. And so, as I said earlier, I was really honored and humbled when he invited me to go to the Notre Dame game with him, and we had a blast. I know he loved the outcome, and again, I just want to introduce to you Mr. Corey Ray.
Hello, how are y'all?
Good.
Sorry I got here late.
That's okay. That's okay.
Took me an hour from Bentonville.
Tell us just a little bit about why you do what you do, why HAR-BER, why this long, and
I enjoyed being around the kids. I mean, I've been a kid my whole life myself, so, I mean, I just enjoy it. I've been at HAR-BER for 21 years, and hopefully I'll retire there in 6 more years.
He said 16. Well, it sounds like you have a very special relationship with
Yes, sir.
administration all the way down to students, and I think that says
Dr.
a
Greaves
lot
is one
about
of the best principals I've ever worked for. There's other ones, but he's one of the top. We became good friends over the years, so I pleasure that.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, we didn't enjoy the outcome of the game. But I'm glad you did.
Yes, sir.
Have you been a Notre Dame fan?
Since I was
Your
10
whole
years
life?
old,
Okay.
and a Chicago Bear fan since I was
Okay.
10.
Is that where you're from?
No,
Okay,
my dad was in the Army, so we traveled every year.
okay.
And I just saw Notre Dame in Chicago on TV and fell in love.
There you go. That's all it takes sometimes.
Chicago got a big win last night.
Yes, sir. Beat my dad's team.
Yeah, the gift of a fumble, right?
Well, we really appreciate you and everything that you do every day, and hopefully you realize that we really appreciate everything you do, and it doesn't go unnoticed, and we're very thankful.
Well, thank you.
We appreciate it.
We got some good kids at HAR-BER, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here, Corey.
Huh?
Thank you for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, you bet. All right, next, we'd like to recognize our school psychology team. They're a special team. Is Sandy here? Oh, hiding behind the podium. Hi. Ms. Ingram, would you mind to share a little bit about your special team, what they do, and the award they received?
Yes, so Dr. Cleveland and board, thank you for giving us the opportunity to be here tonight and allowing me to congratulate our amazing school psychology team. They're all through here. We have 22 school psychology specialists that serve students across our district. They were recently awarded the Outstanding Service Award from the Arkansas School Psychology Association. This is the third time that they have won this award, so that's pretty awesome, which just really shows that they are truly like the best in the state. So the award recognizes teams that for their excellence and just their innovation and being able to serve students with differing needs across the state. So our team, I won this award because they work really hard, not just to do like what we think the traditional role of a school psychology specialist is, which is to do the evaluations for special education, but our team has worked really hard to take that a little bit further and to work on like making sure we're providing services for students, not just for academics, but also that mental health piece, which we all know is really important for our students. So our team is truly leading the state and and thinking outside of the box and stepping up and doing what they're all trained to do, but we've kind of just our state has just kind of gotten stuck in just doing the evaluation and not really utilizing them for all of their skills. So we're really pushing forward, and the team has done a great job making sure that we're serving the whole child and meeting all of their needs. So we're very proud of them for winning this for the third time. So do you want to stand up?
How long have we had this program in the district?
How long have we had? Yeah, as you were the first intern. Jen was the first intern. I mean, we've had it because they're part of our evaluation team. So our school psychs are the ones that do all the, the big majority of testing for students to determine if they qualify.
Did you say since 2000? Is that what I heard you say?
I started here as an intern in 2000.
Okay.
As a school psych.
Okay, cool. Any questions?
It's a big deal.
Yeah, that's awesome.
These people are salty earth people that can go anywhere and do anything at any time, and they choose to be here.
Yeah.
And so, most of them have come through that I've gotten to interview. Some have begged to come here, right? and stay here. And so I'm so thankful that they've chosen to be here and that they choose to serve our kids, because they can do anything, anywhere, at any time, right?
Absolutely. They are the best of the best. We're proud of them.
They have the right heart, and we're very fortunate.
Very.
Great sped team.
Very.
We have great leaders, great LEAs. So thank you. for being
Thank you.
here. Thanks for letting us celebrate you here tonight. It's a big deal. You deserve to celebrate it.
Thank you.
Mr. Ellis? Mr. Ellis has not been in front of you for a while. He's brought some guests. We're going to talk a little bit tonight about Industry Day, and then give you an update on the fine arts, industrial arts index. I apologize.
Hey, good evening, Board. Appreciate the opportunity to come speak to you today a little bit about some current events we've recently had in our career and technical education, also known as AP. So we had a recent Industry Day, October 9th, at the Don Tyson School of Innovation in our Venture Career Center campus. And I've got some special guests here I'll introduce in just a second, but just wanted you to understand a little bit about what that event meant. We had 11 plus school districts that attended from all across the region, as far away as Newton County, Arkansas, a little town called Deer. And we had communities from schools from Clarksville, the western side of Benton County, Washington County. We had 34 plus vendors that came. And the goal of this, this is going into year 4, Wes, I think? Right? 5th year, right. Man, time flies. So 5th year, and it's gotten bigger and better every year. We had 1,000 plus students attend. These vendors come and they spend the day with us from 9 to 2. It takes a team effort, so Ms. Harrison's staff works with us along with Ms. Williamson, and we've got several instructors, about 8 total, that help put this together, along with a lot of students who work through different processes and show the skills that students learn. So it's very hands-on, and we try to get other students to understand what some of those skill sets are through hands-on activities. So some of the areas that we did this year, we focused a lot on some automation, which I'll let Mr. Higginson and Judith talk about in a second. We had a lot of construction skills, and we had our CDL program there, along with we had some of our armed forces people there as well. So the goal is, again, for not only our students, but other students to see, as we're secondary career center there, which they can attend. So any student from the region can attend these programs as well, through some funding that our partnerships allow between NWAC and NWTI. So it was overall a really good day, a great team effort, and just some of the highlights that we have speak to this event over the years as we've continued to grow. And I think to date, this was our largest attendance of vendors and students. So I think we have a short video clip to show some of this that some of the Trent's team put together, which we appreciate their coverage of this event. NWA Steel, one of our partners, who's donated a lot of in-kind materials to us, as well as hire our students. So I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Wes Higginson. He's our industrial maintenance instructor at Venture Career Center, and Judith Kionoko. I did that right, didn't I? How about that? So I wanted them to speak to you a little bit about this event and what it meant, and I'll let you guys have the podium.
I'm also going to introduce Judah here, but just to give you a kind of lead in, Ms. Harrison, Mr. Ellis, and Ms. Williamson have been instrumental in supporting our program. And as you know, we started out as the industrial maintenance program, and we're really not the industrial maintenance so much as we are industrial technology, because we've advanced the program every year. We buy new equipment every year. We need more real estate because of that, but that's okay, because now we have Judah here who, as the Industry Day went along, we had a lot of the executives from Tyson come through, and Judah had an opportunity to share with them our automation program. So I'm going to let Judah just tell you what our automation program is.
Hi, I'm Judah. I'm a senior at SOI, and if you caught me last Thursday, I was on the automation trainer all day. And basically what it is a small distribution center, like a simulator, and it's based off of a PLC, which is a programmable logic controller. It's like an industrial computer, if you think about it that way. Everything ties into the PLC, and we had a VFD that controlled the motor that spun the conveyor belt. And we also had an HMI, which is the display that we had above the PLC, which shows exactly what's going on with the PLC. And I was just explaining to everyone how everything works in conjunction and how I was wiring it and stuff like that.
What Judah hasn't told you is he was explaining this to the production manager from Tyson, okay? Tyson has their technicians, and their upper level technicians are automation technicians. And I'm standing there just watching Judah and him converse, and he looked at me and he goes, this kid is speaking on the level of our automation technicians already. That morning before the event, we had some students wire up some photo eyes to identify product as it goes down the conveyor belt. They weren't initially installed properly. Judah troubleshot them that morning and calibrated them before they ever got there. And now he's in the process of writing the code to interpret barcode reading that the product as it goes along to identify where it's going to go. And hopefully, if we can get the equipment, next semester he'll be writing the code for a cobot to identify defective materials and take it off the conveyor belt and move it. He's already writing that code.
That's awesome.
The thing about it is, the partners that we had our district CT last month, and it was we had approximately 30 members there. A lot of them you saw on the screen there, and that's one of the ways that we keep our program relevant to identify exactly what industry is doing. And so we had one of the industry partners who came in, was talking to Judah. He actually was a prior student of ours, Max Tischer, and he's working for Keytronics. He came in and he told Judah was explaining to him, and he looked at Judah, he goes, every cabinet I open looks just like this. And so he's getting real quality training because of the fidelity of that opportunity to work with our partners.
What? Go ahead. Well, I was just going to ask, what year? Are you a senior?
Yeah, I'm a senior.
And what are you going to do after high school?
Hopefully I have a great job in automation.
It sounds like, I thought the next thing he was going to say is they said, come work for us today. Forget the last semester of school. We need you now.
Yeah, hope so.
Bet you won't have a hard time finding a
No.
job.
I hope not.
That's awesome.
Great job. Very cool. Anybody else? Dr. Cleveland? Good.
I saw him over there. I saw Max Tischer in his cool boots there too. Fancy boots there that day, but yeah, you were very impressive. I wasn't really sure if you came with Max or if you were a student, to be honest with you, because you were doing such a good job. And when we saw, Trent Jones and I walked with Mr. Ellis through, and the new, I guess he's that new, but the new chief operating officer, Tyson Foods, was walking through with his team. Most of what they said was, I didn't know this was here. I didn't know this school was this awesome and this was here. And so they shared about you and the quality of the students that are there. So I just want to thank you for being as good as you were. And you were just being you, but you were a great representative of all the students over there. So thanks for doing that. And thanks for sharing.
Congratulations. Good job.
So, moving forward, Industrial Arts Annex, which is the former Locke building, we moved into that thanks to Jeremy's team and a lot of effort on some partnerships, but Jeremy's guys have worked around the clock along with Southern Brothers and some of those other subcontractors to get that open. We've got approximately 200 students going through that facility every day. That's kind of a model that we're looking at that's more of a hub and spoke system. So that's allowing us to concentrate some really rigorous training in one location, transport students back and forth. We've got some construction management concurrent classes happening there through NWAC. We're looking to open up some opportunities along with some other post-secondary providers there. The 4 instructors who are there currently are splitting some time. One of them splitting some time at Springdale High to help feed this. But What this is really a format similar to the Venture Career Center that you've seen at Don Tyson School of Innovation. So we're working with our partners. We initially had, a little over a year ago, November, a group of about 45 business partners come, and you ever saw the old lock supply building before we retroed it? It was pretty rough. And so with the help of a lot of design, and again with Jeremy's team, some of our partners, we've been able to turn this thing and flip it and get it going. We're currently putting equipment in. Jeremy showed you some of these photos, I know, at some of the school board meetings, but this is one of the awnings that was recently installed with an outdoor workspace, because in these type of fields you need to be conditioned to climate. So you need to be conditioned to working outside or inside, so we're in a good outside space. The guys over there, I let them, along with Mr. T.J. Weiss, who's one of the assistant principals at HAR-BER, has really done a lot of work there. 3 of those instructors were at HAR-BER. We have a 4th instructor at HAR-BER who's feeding the foundational skill set, just like we do at School of Innovation and Springdale High. So the guys that are here are doing more of the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing piece. And so they came up with this acronym, which I like, the GRIT and the grind. Those are some things that they've designed to go on some T-shirts. And that's something that we're focusing on with our students there as they become employable, teaching those professional skill sets and the technical piece. So we've also devised, we had some things hit us on this budget. I'm sure Jeremy's addressed those in the safe room, some additional things required by the state. So what we decided to do on this venture was we've reached out to partners, and this is a working document, but we have equipment needs, machinery, instructional materials. We have courses that we're developing alongside those partners. We work with ABC contractors and youth apprenticeship, and we work with concurrent credit. So overall, at the end of the day, there's a lot of expense to these type of programs, but we're developing levels of partnership, and we've seen quite a bit of interest in that, and some donations of funds or materials in kind. So that could be materials that you see there, anything from lumber to steel to welders. NWA Steel, Middleton Plumbing, Heat and Air is also another company that's donating some pieces to us. Kimball Mechanical is donating some pieces. So the whole piece of that for us is it could be used equipment that they have, but it allows us to get our hands on and get them dirty, and also build our cognitive skill set, because they're coming into the classroom, they're helping us with their subject matter experts, guest instructors, working with us on code. That would be required in a licensed trade like plumbing or electrical. So these different pieces are help us to build a culture of professionalism. These skilled trades today are not what you grew up with. These companies desire leadership traits. They desire, if there's an option for concurrent credit, so we built those pathways for the students. And we're seeing a lot of success in our workforce and how our students are going out and creating opportunities not only for the employers to expand in Northwest Arkansas, but we're starting to become known in our district. It's really neat for me to see. We've got outside companies who are moving in, who are starting to knock on our door because they're finding out what we're doing. Thanks to the leadership of the board and under Dr. Cleveland's foresight, now they're kind of looking at us as a talent bucket, which I think is really neat for our kids. So it's setting us apart from a lot of other districts and what we do, and also I think it adds to how we brand and increase our enrollment numbers up, because I think kids are going to kind of want to take these programs. So last of that, if you don't have any questions, or if you do, I'll be happy to answer any of those. I hope that if you've not, you will receive an invite for November 20th. We'll have a grand opening through the chamber, have a coffee event where we'll go through that building and you can see the finished product. But I think it's something to be really proud of. In this district, I've had some recent meetings with Arkansas Tech and some other post-secondary partners who are coming to look and see what we're doing and potentially offer some further credit options for students. So I think there's a lot of growing interest in what we're doing across the state, and it's going to be providing dividends for us as a district and for our students as well.
Do you know how many partners you've had come forward so far?
Yeah, roughly on that level, we've had probably 10 to 12 confirmed commitments. So I've been working with Ms. Hopkins when we created a budget system where we can intake any funds and then dispense them a letter on basically with the school heading on it to give them a tax credit. And then also we've received commitments to probably roughly $15,000 to $20,000 of materials in kind donations. So that could be anything from a HVAC unit to steel that we would use to weld on or any types of materials like those.
I know we've got some really great partners, and I know they've come forward and you've shared with them. And
Yeah.
they're really investing in our students, and that's great.
Yes. Okay. You bet. I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Cleveland.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate that. I know last month you all asked me about some enrollment numbers, and we've done some work. Mr. Donnell was going to be here today, but he's had some personal issues, and so with family, so he's with them right now. So part of the report that he was going to do, he's going to do next month, if that's okay. But I have a portion of that I'd like to share. I've given you an enrollment data sheet, and I have to thank Jacob Hilton, who does our e-school work. Really does a good job. Every day he sends me a report, a really good breakdown report. I've shared it to you, a 5-month report. And I'm asking him to do just a little bit extra for this one. And obviously, this is Dr. Smith's work. You know, she always is really good at putting it, make it nice and pretty. So thanks, Dr. Smith, and whoever else, wherever she went, to do that. But I asked some questions of Mr. Hilton. I said, you know, I appreciate all he does, but I'd like to be able to track where our students are going, private school, homeschool, public school, or charter. And since the state legislature follows a public school and the charter is the same, then I categorize the same. Students that are out of state or out of country or unknown, I need to know their pre-reduced lunch status or paid. Of course, we don't track them by name, just as a student. I need these broken down from 24-25 to 25-26, 2 different ways. One is May to May, and one is the end of the year to start of the year. And then finally, I need them broken down in our grade groups. So K-5, then middle school, then junior high, then high school. And he did a really good job. And he has some clarifying notes for me. And one of the clarifying notes I'd like to bring to your attention, he said out of country isn't tracked by the Department of Education. Technically, they're all out of state, but we try to enter the destination in our notes if we know it. Since it's not a requirement, it's sometimes missed. So real out-of-country numbers would most likely be just a little bit higher than that number 5 that suggests, but there are only 33 out-of-state codes missing the destination, so that number would be much higher than what we have coded. So it's pretty accurate. So as you're looking in those numbers, you can see that the vast majority of the students that we are missing, 492 of the 621, are K-5. That's a big suggestion to me that, I mean, that's the size of an elementary school. And that's worrisome. Of the 6th and 7th grade, 113, 8th and 9th, 137. But look at your 10 through 12. And I think that this 10 through 12, we're up 121 students. I think the offerings that the high schools, Don Tyson, Springdale High, HAR-BER High School, and then that collaborative work that we do through the Venture Career Center, people are choosing Springdale for a lot of different things. Our course offerings for AP, IB, the Academy model, the house model. Of course, Don Tyson has a Venture Career Center, all the things that we do. I think our effort over the last several years to really invest in our business and industry efforts are paying off there. So we really need to focus on being the right kind of choice from junior high down. And so we're going to study that. And Lord, we really need your help. I know this just isn't on the leadership team, the teachers, and the principals. I think you hear from the community, you're in the community more. Like I told somebody last night at the Regional Workforce Center, I'm at my farm, I'm at my church, or I'm at home, or I'm here, and I'm not out like you all are. And so you hear, you're the ears, you're the eyes, you're the feet, and you're the hands in the community. So you're going to provide the vision. We need your help. So help us, and we will know what to do from that point forward. So there's a lot of work to do. And people can blame a lot of factors. At this point, I don't. Our effort is we've got to make sure that we're servicing our students and our families at the highest level, so they want to select our district to serve their students. So anyway, you want to talk about this at all? Anything you want to visit about or want the public to know? Or are you just digesting the numbers? Okay. Anything stand out to you?
Negative 621.
Yes, sir. Mr. Alvey, I know you're a numbers guy.
So the public charter number here, so that's the biggest,
Indicates a lot of movement,
a whole
a lot of transfers back and forth. So that
what are the charter schools?
well, there's 24 total in the state. There's some more that are
Well, up here, Lisa Academy,
Lisa, the big names from here, Lisa Academy, Hoss Hall, Lincoln County School of Art. They may change their name. Is that correct? Not sure what name is now. Those are the three big ones that I'm aware of.
that's a big number, 55.
Of course, there are some private schools, and there are multiple micro schools. I know that some districts around us are feeling the impacts of micro schools. I know there's a new private school coming in. I think they'd had a kind of a contract on some property here in town, but that contract fell through. But there's a contract in Rogers that is being secured now. I can't tell you the name. So we will see additional privates move in.
I would have thought maybe we could provide the vouchers, if that would have been a bigger number.
There are waiting lists at most of the private schools. So as they expand, that number may.
The school's more than double that.
That homeschool number is just the numbers that have gone to it. That's not our total.
Oh, right. That's the
That may be a
number-
number I need to
That's the
get.
number you went to from the end of either one of those metrics last year.
Right, so let's say it was 800 last year. That's going to stay at 846. And I just threw that number out. That's not a number that's accurate.
State is basically at the.
I should have asked Ms. Smith what that number is. But that's good information for you, I think. What other questions regarding enrollment do you need me to try to get to answer? Because we're going to have a work session relatively soon, and I want to make sure that I've answered those questions or at least gathered that information for you. Okay, well, just think about it, and if something strikes you or whatever, just pick up the phone, call me, and I'm always willing to just try to dig that information. If not, you know every single person on this team, call anybody. So,
And tell me again, these numbers are from when to when?
okay, so like if you look at the net change from last day of 2024-25
Okay.
to May 24 to May of 25.
Okay.
So what I asked Jacob to do is from the end date, from the end of school, like June, to the start date, kind of what that was. But really, I wanted October 1 to October 1, so we'd know how many we lost. It was over 600. And so it's a strange little number that I've been watching, because we'll lose 2 or 3 and then gain a couple. So my little average is about 1 to 2 a day. That's what we're using. And for various reasons. You know, moving out of state, or, you know, Springdale and Northwest Arkansas, strangely, we've lost some jobs. Cargill was a large employer. It was over 1,000 jobs, and that did impact us. And we miss them in lots of ways. They were a great employer for us. So, thankful we have some really good partners still out there. So, well, just let me know. I want to make sure I answer your questions and get the information you need, because we need to work on this together.
I think the biggest question that I'm not sure we can all answer is the charter being the largest number, K through 5. I guess the why.
But it's also going to other public schools. It's also going to
But it's also going to other public schools, or like neighboring public schools? Or?
Often, public.
Is that what
and
public
charter.
okay.
Yeah, and so since the legislature says that a charter school is also a public school, we put those together. And
So this number includes them going to Fayetteville or Bentonville, or?
Now, we could peel that out further if we know, but we'd have to track it down to the academic records.
I'd like to know which are just leaving public schools going to charter, if you can get that number.
Oftentimes, those students come and go pretty quickly. They might go to a charter or something and come back. But we can answer that question, can't we? Let's take this speak. I will break that down for you. But he did answer the question I asked. But I think that answers your question, Mr. Olney, when you talk about choice. People are doing a lot of choosing. Okay. Mr. Emerson, I don't want to belabor it. Is there anything else? Okay. Ms. Tickler, thank you for your patience.
Good evening, Dr. Cleveland and school board. It is my honor this evening to be able to deliver the Springdale School District Annual Report to the public for 2025. As you all know, Arkansas rules and regs require us, all of us as school districts, to conduct a public meeting annually to discuss our progress and performance. On the first slide here, we just have a review of our mission and vision. Our mission, pursuing educational excellence, Springdale Public Schools ensures a safe and inclusive environment, empowering a community of learners. And then our vision, Springdale Public Schools provides personalized, innovative, and culturally diverse learning opportunities to launch each student to a successful life pursuit. I know that you all are familiar with our big, audacious goals. We have, over the past 6 to 12 months, made just some nuanced changes to these goals. Any goals that were made were obviously with stakeholder input. And so I'm just going to touch on these super quick. The first and second goal talk about how each child will be on or above grade level in ELA, math, and science every year as measured by our Atlas summative assessment. The second goal is the same except demonstration of growth. And so we want our students to be on or above grade level, and we want them to grow every year in every assessment as measured by the Atlas. Number 3, the district will exceed state averages on summative assessments. That may look like a repeat, however, it is not. When you think about the number of summative assessments that our students are able to take and choose to take, that would include assessments like ACT, PSAT, the actual SAT, the National Merit Qualifying Test, the ASVAB military entrance exam, and several others. Number 4, each child will be on the path to one of the 3 E's, one or more, enlistment, enrollment, or employment. And then number 5, the district will create and maintain a safe, supportive, and welcoming environment. that prioritizes the well-being of all students and staff. We have our 4 pillars for student success, and throughout the annual report to the public this evening, I'm just going to briefly touch on each pillar and reflect on our progress and performance within each area. So beginning with safety, an update on where we are with SROs and our CSSOs. We are currently, we have 23 commissioned school security officers. Those 23 officers are assigned 1 to pre-K, 18 to our elementary schools, and 4 middle schools, meaning 1 CSSO at each of the 4 middle schools. We also have 11 school resource officers. We have assigned to our 4 junior high and 4 high schools. Each junior high has 1, and then our high schools, a few of them do have more than 1. And I just want to, again, as we do in multiple public meetings, point out our partnerships with the Springdale Police Department, the Springdale Fire Department, the Washington County Sheriff's Office, and the Washington County Emergency Management Team. All of this work would not be possible if it weren't for their ongoing partnership. Social workers, you can see there the mission and vision for our social worker team. We currently have 18 social workers, and those 18 social workers serve all 31 school buildings. Now moving on to nursing, you can see Nurse Amy Schultz there in the picture. We have 39 full-time nurses and 17 part-time nurses. Our nurses cover a wealth of responsibilities in our district. Some of those include serving students and staff with things like hearing and vision screenings, conducting vaccination and immunization clinics. And then we celebrated last year that all 31 schools are currently designated as Project Adam Heart-Safe schools. And I know that you all have seen in news that those skills have actually come to play and been used. And so we know the power of Project Adam Heart-Safe schools, and our nurses will be working to make sure that those certifications stay up to date and ongoing with our 31 campuses. Moving on to student achievement, this is the curriculum that you all approved at the beginning of the school year. This is just simply a review, looking at our foundational reading skills curriculum, which is phonics first and structures, and morphology with structures. Moving into the comprehension, background knowledge, and vocabulary, you can see there we have Odell education curriculum for literacy and then benchmark workshop. We are still evaluating dyslexia curriculum and continue to evaluate as more of the rules and regs come forward. And then if you look for science, mathematics, and English language development, which is ELD, you can see the list of curriculum that has been previously approved in those areas as well. Any questions? I feel like I'm moving really fast. Just jump in there if y'all need me to slow down. Okay, moving on to personalization. This is a list of our student-centered programs. I feel like this list is a little bit general, but we tried to encompass all of our programs, but you have several. When you look at our advanced programming, you can see things there. There are pictures from International Baccalaureate and, of course, advanced placement. We have gifted and talented. We have 7th and 8th graders that have the opportunity through acceleration to earn high school credits. AP, IB, a whole multitude of concurrent classes. That bullet that says multiple pathways to graduation with merit and distinction, I do want to point out something of clarification with those pathways. There are pathways with AP, IB, and concurrent. They're called general studies, but career and technical education has multiple pathways now that are considered acceleration, and they will lead to merit and distinction. So from now on, when you think about acceleration or advanced programming, and we'll be presenting more about this, I just want to emphasize that several programs are now considered accelerated and will have weighted course credit similar to AP and concurrent. And some of those courses were discussed here this evening with our student Judah, who talked to you about automation, robotics. There are several others. We also have the biliteracy program. We continue to lead the state in the number of graduates who attain their seal of biliteracy. We have our Career Academies program at Springdale High School. And then, of course, at Don Tyson School of Innovation, we continue to grow and develop our associate degree programming. Career and technical education, here are the 25 pathway opportunities that are currently offered in Springdale Public Schools. You can see this comprehensive list, and immediately you're just like, wow. Literally in our district, students can pretty much do and study and excel in anything they want. The pathways at the state level are going through a transition, and so you may be hearing and seeing things about pathways transitions over the next 3 to 4 years. Just know that some of them are merging. So if you see a list from the state, it may look smaller. It's not necessarily smaller, it's just that they've merged some of the pathways and realigned the clusters that the pathways reside in with a national career clusters model. And I'm happy to discuss that more in detail at any time. So some gifted and talented information from 24-25. We were up 196 students in GT, which is great, totaling 2,394 students. You can see there how GT services are provided all the way from K through 12. There are a multitude of ways that students can engage in gifted and talented services and also engage in acceleration and advanced programming in general. When you look at our framework for advancing student recognition and achievement, this is just more of like an AP report. You can see that last year, Springdale administered 3,191 AP exams to 1,895 students. That is an increase of 193 students participating from the prior year. That is huge, by the way. 3,191 AP exams is tremendous. You can see there that 236 students received a 5, 621 a 4, those are up 44 and 40, and then 1,053 exams received a score of 3, that's up 340 students. This part is unprecedented. 60% of total exams received a score of 3 or better. That is huge. Like if you look at global data, that is a very high pass rate. And most of the time, a 3, 4, or 5, with some caveats, do equal college credit of some sort, depending on the university that a student attends. 15.3% of all district seniors scored a 3 or higher on at least one AP exam prior to graduation. When you look in terms of national merit achievements, you can see there the data from 2020 until the end of last school year, the number of semifinalists versus the number of finalists, and then just a reminder that a student becomes a national merit scholar when they accept a scholarship from a university. So a lot of students may be a national merit finalist, but if they don't choose to accept that specific scholarship, then they don't become a scholar. And so you can see there the semifinalist versus finalist. IB recognition and achievement. As you all know, we had the awesome opportunity to present our 6 IB diploma recipients with their actual diploma here at a board meeting, which was fantastic. That was something we've never gotten to do before. The timing just worked out perfectly. And so we continue to push our students in terms of rigor and coursework throughout International Baccalaureate to pursue the diploma in the areas in which they're passionate about there. Partnerships, I will not read this slide to you, it is very long, but you can see there that we continue to have ongoing collaboration and partnership opportunities. We just had our first Community Engagement Council meeting last week, formerly known as Patron Shelf, and that meeting went really well. It was very well attended. We had upwards of 50 community partners who engaged in that meeting and that conversation with us. And then you can just kind of see there a multitude of collaboration and partnerships that are ongoing. Some additional partnerships, when you look at district and school community partnerships, I know that Mr. Ellis talked about a growing number of partners specifically to the Industrial Arts Annex, but within our career and technical education, whether it's through advisory or business and industry partners, we are well over 70. After the meeting with the Industrial Arts Annex, we're probably closer to 80 active industry partners. You can see there are Treehouse Pantry partners, post-secondary, of course, Chamber of Commerce and Education Foundation. Parent and family engagement, we continue to have our Springdale Family Literacy Program at 8 of our schools throughout the district. And then we continue to grow our parent university opportunities. You can see a photo there from one of our parent universities where our students, in conjunction with their parents or family members, went through an electrical course. That was a 5-week course that our students and parents engaged in. Those courses are taught by our district career and technical education teachers, and they are also assisted by current students in those programs. You all have already seen our enrollment demographics. I will not belabor that point. If you look down where it says total, that first number is the total from September of 2025 compared to September of 2024 in that purplish color. Just for your reference at the top, I put the enrollment as of today in real time there for your review, 21,128. That does not include pre-K, just as a clarifier. Any questions about this slide or any other ones that I've gone over so far? Okay. Here is our academic achievement with Atlas. I do want to point out that the value that you see here on the slide represents the percentage of students scoring a level 3 or a level 4 on the Atlas summative. And anywhere you see green, that indicates an increase in that percentage of 3s and 4s from the 23-24 school year to the 24-25 school year. You can see there that we have work to do everywhere. There was an anomaly in grade 5. That anomaly was not just with us. There's statewide conversation going on. And then when you look at grade 10, one thing that I do want to point out, when you look at mathematics and science, any students who are accelerated or in advanced courses took the Atlas summative in math and science in the 9th grade. And so when you look at the 10th grade scores, what you are seeing there is the on grade level. Any student who tested that wasn't accelerated, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Those students tested in 9th grade and those students stayed in the junior high pool there. All right. Graduation rates, we continue to mostly improve in this area. We, as you can see there, the state and district average versus each of our high schools are broken down there. Each of our high schools has an active goal in their strategic action plan to address 4-year graduation. I do want to point out, you can see in the 22 school year, there was a 4-year and a 5-year graduation rate. We no longer have a 4-year and a 5-year graduation rate. We simply have a 4-year graduation rate. You either graduate in 4 years or, as for accountability purposes, we do not get credit for that if it takes longer than 4 years. So you won't see that 5-year data anymore. Bullying report, I'm happy to say that we had a drastic decrease in our documented reports of bullying from the 23-24 school year to the 24-25 year. You can see that drastic reduction from 242 reports to 106. When you look in upwards of 22,000 students, we're pretty proud of that, especially with the decrease there. All right, Springdale School District and all 29 schools are fully accredited by the Arkansas Department of Education in the 24-25 school year. And in closing, a quote from Dr. Cleveland. I'm grateful for our dedicated staff whose commitment drives student success, and I deeply appreciate our valued stakeholders and our school board for their vision and support. Together, we are strengthening our educational community and creating opportunities for every student to thrive. Dr. Jared Cleveland, and he has a note there. Please direct any comments or questions to him at jcleveland@sdale.org. Are there any questions this evening that I can answer for you as board members? I really flew through that super fast. Everybody good?
This will be posted on our website too, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Well, good evening, board. It's good to see everyone this evening. I am here to give an update on some information that Ms. Rojo learned mid-September about some funding cuts that will happen to our pre-K. But before we get into the funding cuts, I wanted to give you a little bit of background knowledge about how pre-K is currently funded. So currently, our pre-K program has 1,012 students enrolled, and remember, those are our 3- and 4-year-olds. Pre-K students are funded through 3 different avenues. The first is Arkansas Better Chance, and also known as ABC funding, and parents qualify based on income or other qualifying conditions. The range of out-of-pocket expense for family goes anywhere from full pay to they pay 80% of what the state reimburses the district for. And we are reimbursed at a daily rate of $28.40 per child, which equates to $5,055.20 a year per child. And if you think about our state foundation rate that we get for kindergarten through 12th grade students, it's around $8,100. So our ABC funding is significantly below that amount. Currently, we have 743 students being served through ABC funding. Of the 743 students that we serve through ABC, 34 families pay a copay on a sliding scale fee of 20 to 80% of the tuition rate. Next, we have Child Care and Development Fund, also known as CCDF. Parents qualify based on income and their work status. So parents have to work at least 30 hours a week and fall underneath a certain income guideline. Currently, parents who qualify for CCDF attend pre-K for free. Interestingly enough, our pre-K is funded at different levels based on our Better Beginning levels. What our Better Beginning levels are, we are scored a 1 through a 6 based on site visits and other indicators that they look at. I'm happy to say that currently Springdale pre-K programs rate anywhere between a level 4 and 6, which means we have high-quality pre-K programs. So level 1s and 2s are reimbursed at $39 a day. Level 3, $42 a day. Level 4, $45 a day. Level 5, $46 a day. Level 6, $47 a day. So we will say on average we're reimbursed at a rate of $46 per student. Or it's $8,188 a year, which is closer to our foundation funding received for K-12 students. Finally, we have parent pay. That is where parents just pay the full tuition rate of $195 a week. That averages out to about $7,100. We have 109 pre-K students that are full pay. And I think I forgot to mention we have 163 students that are in that CCDF funding, which will be important here in just a minute. Any questions about our current funding? So the changes that are coming. Our CCDF slots, we historically received 212 slots that we could sign students up for. They've cut those to 192. They're also cutting our Better Beginning level funds. And so instead of having the tiered system, which rewards us for our hard work, everyone will be paid at the same rate of pay. At your desk or at your seat, I put a chart. Looks like this. This is the state median income chart for families. And so moving forward, parents who earn 40% less than the state median income will remain free for families, and the state will now pay $39 a student. So if you look at this chart, if you look at the family size, and let's just say we have a family of 4, that family of 4 cannot earn any more than about $36,000 a year without having to pay some copay for their pre-K student. Families who fall between 41 and 60% of the state median income will have a copay of $11.70 per day, and the state will pay $27.30. That equates to families paying $57.85 per week out of pocket and $231.40 per month, which also equals $2,082.60 a year. So again, if you look at a family of 4 within that 60% can earn anywhere between $36,000 to about $49,000 before they have to start paying a copay, or they would have to start paying a copay. 61 to 85% of the SMI will have a copay of $15.60, and then the state will reimburse the district at $23.40 a day. That equates to $78 a week, $312 per month, or $2,776.80 a month, or a year. And then finally, that 86 to 100% can only qualify with waiver circumstances, and I'm unsure of what those waiver circumstances are, if I'm being honest, and we'll still have to pay a copay of $15.60 a day. And then anybody that earns more than that, they don't qualify for this any longer. Another change that we were made aware of this year is that we can no longer enroll students in CCDF-funded slots after September 1st. We were not aware of this condition, and so we had continued to enroll students after the September 1st deadline, and we were unsure if they were going to fund those students, but through some advocacy work with Ms. Rojo, Dr. Cleveland, and Dr. Smith, they did come back and say that they would go ahead and reimburse us this year for the extra students that we had enrolled after September 1st. CCDF funding is now $39 a day, regardless of our better beginning level. So better beginning level funding, currently, if we were at max capacity with 212 students, which we probably could be close if they had allowed us to continue to enroll, that would have been about $1.7 million. But under the new funding formula, if we were at our max capacity to 192 students being reimbursed at $39 a day, that is about $1.2 million. So it's about $500,000 less that we will be receiving. So originally, October 1st was the deadline for all CCDF changes to occur, and by all, parents had about a week's notice that they would have to pay the copay. And so I know Dr. Cleveland, Dr. Smith went to Little Rock, had some meetings with some legislators and with the commissioner. Good news is they did push this back to November 1st, and so our daily rate funding cuts will begin November 1st. But even better than that, for students that are enrolled in public school pre-K programs, they are waiving the copay for this year only, and that will start for next school year. So they did listen. So impacts. Again, we have a potential loss of $500,000 in pre-K funding for next year. Parents that utilize CCDF funding may not be able to afford the copay and keep their children home to be cared for by relatives. Sometimes the relatives are elderly parents that live in the home. Parents that utilize CCDF funding may not be able to afford the copay and quit their jobs to keep their children at home. If you think about the income guidelines, a lot of these families are blue-collar workers who work in our factories, who work restaurant industry, who work construction, And so they don't typically make a lot of money to begin with, and so they may decide that it's not even worth working if they're having to pay for childcare. This year, we will be impacted. We currently have 163 students. We have 121 days left in the year after the November 1st deadline. We were being reimbursed at a rate of $46 a day, but now they've cut that back to $39 a day. And so this year, we have a loss of $138,000 that we had not budgeted for. And so Dr. Smith and Ms. Hopkins have been working to push some money around to try to cover the loss that we will experience this year with pre-K. Any questions for me? I know it's a ray of sunshine. We are unsure. It's one that we've never had to do before. We are unsure. There's been a lot of change in positions at the Arkansas Department of Ed, so we really don't know where that came from. Yes, but not for CCDF funding. And I will tell you right now that our ABC slots are full, and we just don't have a lot of people that are enrolling at this point in the year for full parent pay. We're limited in our ABC slots as well. Our pre-K is very full.
Our main thing is to make sure that you're fully aware of the situation.
Well, it's interesting that, when we were in DC, we met with Department of Ed and Department of Labor in a joint meeting. And their biggest concern was childcare and workforce and people not being able to afford childcare and people quitting their jobs so they can stay home with their kids. That was pretty much what our meeting was about and what their biggest concern was. And you get reports like this that it's just going to make that even worse and even harder. So it's an interesting point that I thought of while you were speaking. So.
Our effort's still going to figure out a way to create opportunities for our pre-K to be very functional and high quality. We're not going to change our expectation of what pre-K is. We have great employees in pre-K. I mean, high quality teachers, fully licensed, and their mission is still functioning for our kids. So that's our effort.
Is there data on the I don't know how to word this, but kindergartners that went through our pre-K program or a pre-K program versus ones that didn't?
I know the state is working to collect that data through the ELDI tool. That was something we participated in the year before last with certain schools. We don't have enough of that data yet to say, but I will tell you anecdotally, and I know Ms. Hannah's here, she teaches kindergarten, she would tell you anecdotally, she can tell the difference from students who have been in a pre-K program and those who have not. We are kindergarten teachers for sure would, and so would the principals. All right, thank you, board.
Thank you, Ms. Pink, for always doing great work.
All right, good evening, board and Dr. Cleveland. I've got a pretty small construction update this month. So at Harbor High, the multi-purpose field, we've got all the turf down, and they've got another crew coming in to resurface the track in about 2.5 weeks. And then that job will be completed. We'll put the fence back up and have that one finished. Okay, so most of our time here lately has been on Westwood planning for that. So I've shared some blueprints and some renderings on Westwood Elementary. So this will be the site plan after all the construction's completed. So you can tell we've added bus lanes, delivery lanes, and trash trucks will all come in the north side of the campus. We'll have a little bit of parking back there for pre-K and the kitchen staff. And then on the south side of the school, you'll have a double stacking lane for your kindergarten through third grade, and then you'll have another double stacking lane for your fourth and fifth graders, and that'll get all the cars off of the main road right there. So this is your first floor. You've got the clinic on the bottom right, which will have dental, and then exam rooms. Then you've got art, GT, and then a lot of your specialty classrooms. And then on the bottom left is your office space that has all your office, your counselors, conference rooms. And then when you go up the left side, you'll have all your kindergarten, first and second grade classrooms. And then when you get to the top of this page, you'll have your gymnasium, your cafeteria, your kitchen, and then your music room back there. And then the building on the right, that is the existing library. We're going to turn that into some pre-K rooms and some multi-purpose rooms. So that's the section we'll be keeping from the existing building. And then this building is 2-story. So bottom left, you're upstairs, you'll have your library media center. You'll have a computer lab, and then you'll have your 5th grade, your 4th grade, and your 3rd grade going through the 2nd floor. There's a rendering of what it will look like when we're done. So we're shifting the building over to the west, and then trying to line up our driveways with the existing Dyer Street.
Is this McRae?
Yeah. And then Walker Street comes in on the northeast corner. So the buses can enter and exit. It keeps everybody separate on their parking. There's a view of what the front of it will look like. So upstairs on the media center and the computer lab, it actually has an outdoor classroom space where the kids can come out. It's covered, so they could use it no matter what the weather is. And then the clinic will have its own entrance back to the east. This would be in the gym, and then it will also be the storm shelter. So there's restrooms and water fountains and everything in this area. The cafeteria will have a stage, and then it'll have access down to the music room, and it'll have storage, and then it'll also have a garage door and double doors that open up into the gym space, if they're having programs or whatever. The library media center upstairs, this is what it could look like. And it's got your circulation counter kind of off to the side, your librarian's office, and then a lot of open space for the kids to be in groups. And then the computer lab, it has doors that adjoins the media center and the windows. So there's daylight to all the rooms in this school. It really has turned out very well. Do you guys have any questions on Westwood? I know we've already went through the planning commission last week, got approval. So we go to the city council on October 24th or 28th. I think it's the 28th. And then we're gonna send civil drawings to the state this Friday. And hopefully, once we get all those approvals, we'll start moving dirt on November 2nd at Westwood. So we're starting to take down parts of the playground this week to prepare for the November 2nd. Actually, the construction will start. Okay.
Y'all started this years ago.
Jeremy's bored, he wants something to do.
Yeah. Okay. If that's it, I want to introduce our friends with Baldwin and Shell. They've got some very exciting news to tell you guys.
I got props. All right. Eagle trophy, that's pretty cool.
There we go.
So Dr. Cleveland and members of the school board, my name is Troy Muss, and I serve Baldwin Shell as our division president here in Northwest Arkansas. And on behalf of Baldwin and Shell, I'm proud to share that Southwest Junior High has received 2 honors given from the leading construction industry organization in the state of Arkansas, which is the Arkansas Builders and Contractors of Arkansas. First is this, the Excellence in Construction Award. And this one might look familiar to some of you because this isn't the first time that Baldwin and Shell has been associated with a project with Springdale Schools that's won this award. Projects such as Don Tyson School of Innovation have also won this award. But Southwest Junior High won first place in the category of K-12 institutional projects, and across the state of Arkansas, it was judged on factors such as leadership, safety, innovation, and of course quality. And it's something that we're super proud to present to y'all today. We will have a replica made of this with a custom plate to present later, but it's still in fabrication, I'm told. And next is something that we're super proud of. So this is one I know you haven't seen before. This guy is a little bit bigger, so bigger's better. And so best of the best is what this is. This is the State of Arkansas Chairman's Award. And it was selected as first of all, it's the only one in the entire state, only project in the entire state that will receive a award like this in a year. It was selected among 54 competing projects in all categories of construction, and again, the only one chairman's award is given each year, so it's super special, and it's special recognition really for everyone involved. The school, Springdale Schools, and of course Jeremy and his team. They're always a pleasure to work with, and their projectionalism and collaboration and their ability to make quick decisions is what typically leads to project success. And I also want to recognize, where is he? James Martindale. So not only, to bring him along here to carry the heavy stuff, but he also was instrumental in our project management team for Southwest Junior High in ensuring the success of the project. These awards, they don't only speak to, the quality of these projects, and that's something to certainly be proud of, but they also, we at Baldwin Shell feel that, it's also reflection of the strength of our partnership with Springdale Schools, and we certainly are truly honored to share these achievements with you and to continue the district's mission of providing these outstanding facilities and learning environments for the students and the staff here in Springdale School District. So thank you very much for your time, and again, we're super proud of these, so hopefully y'all are too. So thank you.
I'd like to make sure that those get put on Jeremy's desk when we get those in.
Yeah. No, it's good. That's a big achievement to win those awards. So, all right. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate y'all.
Good evening, School Board and Dr. Cleveland. My name is Valerie Hanna. I am the president of the SEA and also a educator here in the district. And I'm going to take just a moment of personal privilege real quick and step away from that role and go back to what Ms. Fink had said. And the question from every kindergarten teacher isn't, did you go to preschool? It's, honey, whose class were you in? because we can tell exactly which kids came from our pre-Ks. And in my school at Elmdale, I'm like, were you in Miss Tate or Miss Carter? I know exactly which kids they are, and it makes such a difference with their education and just in general how we're able to start our year off too. So side note, and back to this, like 100%, it's so necessary. So, very excited that we are going to be taking 8 members of SEA down to Hot Springs in early November to the RA. And again, we have several of our members who are going to be presenting new business items. So I think it's become kind of a, not a challenge to do, but like a thing that we feel pulled to do to make it go further and to really see what the need is where we are and ask for those things on a higher, at that state level. With all the uncertainty that has been surrounding the recent developments at the federal level, several of our members have reached out and had concerns about how the potential IDEA funding cuts might impact our district. Specifically, they've asked how Springdale plans to continue funding and supporting our special ed programs should these reductions occur. And of course, I did miss the front end because I was doing parent-teacher conferences, so if that was addressed, I apologize. But we have reassured those members that Springdale will always prioritize doing what's best for our students, especially those in the SPED populations. However, we would greatly appreciate any guidance or information that our district can share as it becomes available regarding how these changes will affect us within in our buildings. And then, to a happier note, and this is more on a just general teacher note. Today I had the privilege of having my nephew come and job shadow me. He is 13, gonna be 14 end of the week, and chose me as what he wanted to come see, chose teaching. And he had to ask me a list of questions that his instructor had given him, and he could choose any of them. And he asked me, how long have you been doing this? What are, kind of the perks of it? What's the, kind of the good, the bad, and the ugly? And the last question he asked me, I actually had to take a moment, and which was, he said, have you ever wanted to quit? And it wasn't, do you like your job, or, have you ever wanted to quit? And I kind of went, honestly, I can straight up say no. At no point have I ever wanted to quit being a teacher. There's all these things that happen, including what I just mentioned, within our world as educators, and it happens at every level. But the teachers that we have, not only in Springdale, but just in Arkansas too, I hope that there's never a day that I don't want to be a teacher. All that other stuff aside, what we do and what you allow us to do is just so important. But that being said, having my nephew ask me that question and me being able to be honest to him, and by the end of the day, he's like, man, Aunt Val, I'm tired. And I'm like, yeah, kindergarten's hard. So anyway, thank you for all that you do, and thank you from us.
Thank you for being here. Okay, that brings us, we have no patron comments tonight. That brings us to item E, our consent agenda. Do we have any questions about the consent agenda before I entertain a motion? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
A motion by Mr. Hutchinson and a second by Mrs. Cook to approve the consent agenda as presented. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Brings us to our action items.
Good evening, Board. Good evening, Dr. Cleveland. The first item on my section of the agenda is a proposed budget of expenditures and sample ballot. This is for the March 3rd election. And so
it's kind of an odd thing. We bring this to you every year, and so it's essentially what we think the revenues of the district will be spent on for school year '28. And so what we do is we took what our budget that you approved last month was for this school year, and then kind of just applied some percentage changes, looking at what we project out, and just kind of it's a guess, but we try to adjust it as well as we can to what our current budget is and kind of what we expect might happen. So just asking for your approval of this. The next step, if you do approve it, is it will need to be published in the newspaper. And then once the newspaper has been published and there's no feedback on that, then I'll submit it to the clerk of court for it to be on the ballot in 2026.
Any questions?
Make a motion that we approve the proposed budget of expenditures and sample ballot as presented.
A motion by Mrs. Creek and a second by Mr. Bell to approve the proposed budget of expenditures and sample ballot as presented. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you. The next item is the seeking approval of the September 2025 financial statements. Just wanted to give you a few highlights. Our current balance, our fund balance, is about $4.5 million more than it was this same time last year, and that was part of the plan as we carried forward at the end of last fiscal year, deciding how much to put in building fund and how much to carry forward. And part of that was a little bit of concerns of what might happen this school year with funding. And so I did not have a crystal ball as to what Ms. Fink shared with us on pre-K, but that was part of the reason why we were conservative in holding some of those balances over so that we can kind of weather those changes. So just wanted to share that part with you. We've collected about 17% of our revenues, our budgeted revenues so far this year, which is about on target with where we anticipated we would be. Of course, as you know, October, tomorrow is real estate and personal property tax deadlines, payments due. So what we will see, our November revenue will be significantly higher than what we normally see. That's typically November and December and May are our highest months for collections. So you can pay it online if you haven't paid it yet.
Thank you for that reminder.
So, and then on our expenditures, we are about the same as where we were last year. We're up a little bit, and those are anticipated areas that we expected. Special education, we know that our needs have increased as they have the last few years, so that's up just a little bit. On our repairs and maintenance, those are up a little bit as well compared to where we were this time last year. I know that y'all all attended our opening of our professional development center, so we had some costs associated with that as far as outfitting, having furnishings and that type of thing. We've had some repairs that needed to be made that were not covered by insurance as a result of the hailstorm that we experienced last May. And so just all that to say that it is up a little bit, but they're one-time expenditures. And so we're monitoring those very closely as we continue through the school year. Are there any questions on the financial statements as presented?
Make a motion to approve the September financials as presented.
Second.
A motion by Mr. Ombie and a second by Mrs. Cook to approve the September 2025 financial statement. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you, Board.
Dr. Cleveland, do you have anything else? Board, anybody?
Don't need a report, sir.
With that, meeting is adjourned.